This is exercise number 3 of my Defeat the Funk course for artists and creators who are feeling stuck. And in this video, we're going to get back to storytelling with just 4 panels. A quick recap: in exercise number 1, we got your pencil moving again with the scribble challenge. In exercise 2, we went a little bit deeper to remember the moment, why you started, and we got you back into the zone. In the final exercise here, I want to address some common excuses and fears we tell ourselves, because even though we can do exercises to psych ourselves up and get out of a funk, it's easy to fall back again, and it's bound to happen. And when it does, you need a good old-fashioned reality check. Let's start with one of my favorite quotes from Stoicism. "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Seneca said that. And this is true in our lives in so many ways, whether you're afraid that you're going to be judged or made fun of, or you have some irrational fear of impending sense of doom. I've had that. Most of what we fear might happen never comes to pass. It's in our imagination. Imagine how many great things were not created because of this sense of fear and self-doubt. This can be doubly worse for artists because the imagination itself can be a double-edged sword. While artists can dream up fanciful stories and beautiful art, we can also imagine and visualize the absolute worst coming to pass in reality. And sometimes we're right. And that can feel paralyzing. And you do need to know that most artists, even the most successful artists in history, have dealt with negative self-talk, depression, and anxiety. I deal with this too. There's a stigma about talking about it that we need to break. When I feel those feelings creeping in on me, I remember that quote and I try to become self-aware and really give myself a reality check, asking what's really going on and why am I feeling that way? Reality check number 2 is there are no magic tools. You have everything that you need right now, right in front of you. Telling yourself that if you only had this tool or that tool, then you'll find some success is a myth. There are successful artists out there essentially doing stick figures on Post-it notes. If you're desiring some kind of fancy tool that you don't have or can't afford right now, maybe it's an iPad or a Cintiq screen or fancy pencils, set it as a goal for yourself and build your tool belt little by little over time. Speaking of time, you have time. This is the biggest excuse that I hear from other artists who say they want to do something only if they could find the time. Even if you have a full-time job like I do, you can and you should find some time for your art and to feed your creativity. Even if only for a few minutes per day, it's better than nothing. In exercise 1, we did the scribble challenge, which also proves that there's time to exercise this creativity in just minutes. The last excuse that I always hear, and it's a major reality check for artists, they want to do some big lofty project, some 6-issue series or big graphic novel, and it's such a big thing that they never get started, or they start and don't finish. I'm guilty of that too. And then when you start something and you don't finish, now you're back to feeling like a failure or stuck again. Why even bother? So I suggest to people that are feeling stuck like this to start small. Remember, some of the greatest stories of all time were told in just 4 panels. So this is the final exercise, 4-panel storytelling. In this exercise, I want you to draw a personal story in just 4 panels. Maybe you'll even draw the very moment that we talked about. And the 4 panels can be any size. You can even just use Post-it notes if you wish. It can be a personal anecdote, a feeling, a memory. It can be any tone that you wish. It doesn't have to be deep or moody. Again, bonus points if you share these panels online with me or in the comments below. Now for me, actually after going through this exercise multiple times, thinking back to the beginnings of my imagination and drive, I actually ended up with some not so happy memories. But there's still ones that drove me. So I want to share with you my 4-panel story. And this one is kind of hard for me to share. I couldn't actually bring up the courage to post it the first time that I ever drew it. Up until this very moment, probably only 4 or 5 people in my entire life know this story. This is 4-panel stories. 1981. I was 5 years old when Masters of the Universe debuted. Skeletor is my favorite because he just looked cool as heck. I would visit my dad every other weekend, and he would let me pick out toys when I'd visit. My dad was pretty rad. "Thanks, Dad, these are pretty rad." "Right on, kiddo." But my mom was a wicked woman. This is the time she threw my toys into the coal furnace. "Does he think he can buy your love?" This memory has been etched into my brain my entire life. Up until right now, probably only 3 people know this story. I didn't realize until now, as a 46-year-old man, that I'm a survivor of a form of child abuse. I forgive you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day, wherever you are. So don't be afraid to tell your story to the world. And if it's a bit personal, you can keep it to yourself. In 1981, I was about 5 years old when Masters of the Universe debuted. Skeletor was my absolute favorite just because he looked cool as heck. I always gravitated towards the scarier looking action figures. My mom and dad were divorced, so my dad would visit me every other weekend and he would let me go pick out toys. So my dad was pretty rad. But I have this memory about bringing home the toys and my mom actually throwing them into the coal furnace in front of me. And I've always thought about this my entire life. And in a way, it's kind of driven me. You know, after thinking about this, it's kind of like art therapy, right? This idea, this memory, this bad memory that I had for all these years, I actually thought about it some more and I realized that had it not been for this memory, I wouldn't be here. I started to collect G.I. Joes because I could hide them more easily from my mom. They fit in my pocket. And had I not collected G.I. Joes and got into playing G.I. Joes with my friends, I might have never discovered that comic book that became my moment. So thanks a lot, Mom. Someone else heard this story and said, wow, you're a victim of child abuse. And I thought that was crazy. I never considered myself an abused child at all. But now as a 46-year-old looking back, I was the victim of a kind of child abuse. And that feels both weird and also empowering to say. This was just the life that I grew up in. This was my story. This is what made me who I am. But I'm just now learning and exploring this true power of visual storytelling. That it has more than just the power of entertainment, but the power to heal myself and to forgive and let go and to be a better man, a better human being. That is truly magical and makes me love the art of visual storytelling even more. If you've done all 3 exercises and you're still feeling stuck, it's okay too. This can take some time. I encourage you to go back and try them again and take your time. And if you want to stay encouraged, join our little secret society of visual storytellers, the Draw or Die Club. There's a link down in the description and some other videos that you might find helpful. Please stay encouraged out there. Back to the drawing board for me.